What's up, everybody? I'm B-True, and today I want to bring you my Demon Hunter PTR build that I've been using, because a lot of things have changed for the Demon Hunter with this new PTR build and the skills changes, so I want to go ahead and show you guys what I'm running right now. And first off, as you guys can see, I did get the Marauders 6-set bonus with the Ring of Royal Grandeur, so obviously you want to have sentries in your build because of the massive amounts of damage that they are able to do. But one very interesting thing that I don't think a lot of people are really focusing on right now is the new bonus from the Natalia's set, the 4-set bonus. And that is the cooldown of Rain of Vengeance is reduced by 2 seconds for every enemy that you kill. And this also procs on assists. So if you're playing with a group of 4 people, if you even slightly damage an enemy, you're going to get the reduced 2 seconds when that enemy is killed. And this isn't just from Rain of Vengeance, this is from killing them by any means necessary. Now, I can, if I get the Natalia's the one-handed crossbow, I can have the Marauder's 6-set and the Natalia's 4-set at the same time, which is actually going to be an insanely powerful combination. But I'll get to that in a second. So first off, this is what I'm running before I end up getting that. So I have Entangling Shot Justices served for the hatred generation, basically. That's mostly what it's for, as well as the slowing effect that it has. Cluster Arrow loaded for bear, that is the bread and butter of the build, is what you do the most amount of damage with. This is a fire build, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed already. I have Seethe here because of the 10 hatred per second that it gives you. It's also a ton of damage from the side guns and the homing rockets. So this is just a way to kind of burst down elites and champion packs. Then I have Sentry with Spitfire turret. The Sentry is going to cast your hatred spenders, which the only one that I have right now is Cluster Arrow loaded for bear. So this is going to be doing a ton of damage, as well as with the Spitfire turret, it turns into fire damage and it fires homing rockets as it fires, so that's just even more damage that it's putting out. Right now I'm using Vault with Tumble because I've been farming Key Wardens for a while, so you want that added mobility to try and get to them as fast as possible. Another thing, what I do when I'm fighting, if I'm just trying to farm greater rifts, or if I'm fighting up against Ubers, I put on smoke screen with healing vapors. That way you can, dodge attacks and heal yourself at the same time. The Demon Hunter is very tanky now with the addition of armor. You can surprisingly take a lot of damage now, so Smokescreen with healing vapors really gives you a ton of sustain and it allows you to really stay alive for a long time. But like I said, Vault right now because of farming Key Wardens and the mobility that it gives you. And then obviously you want Companion because of the Marauders set bonus that I have. So this is going to give you, the effects of all of them. I don't think it matters which rune you actually choose, but it gives you the effect of all of your companions, which is extremely overpowered and very helpful. Then I have Archery because you get the additional 1 hatred per second with the second hand crossbow, plus the 5 crit chance with the original hand crossbow. So that's just a DPS booster. Blood Vengeance is very important now with the changes to Preparation Punishment, and I'll talk about that in a second. But it gives you the additional hatred and the discipline whenever you are healed by a health club. Perfectionist, it did get a slight nerf because of the addition of armor, but now it still reduces the discipline cost by 10%, and it increases your armor and resistances by 10%, so that adds more tankiness to your character, which you're going to need in the greater rifts when you get to the higher levels. And then Ambush, because it gives you that additional 40% damage to enemies above 75%. And this is really interchangeable. You can switch this out for a few things. Custom Engineering is obviously a pretty big one because of the sentries. You can get an additional sentry, and it makes them last twice as long. Ballistics, possibly, because of the Spitfire turret with the rockets it's shooting out. That's also, decent. And then if you're farming Ubers, I like to put Single Out instead of Ambush because most of the time they are more than 20 yards away from each other, so you get that 25% crit chance. That's just for Ubers that I use that. And then if you're in a Greater Rift, I would suggest using Awareness because in Greater Rifts, when you die, you have to start the whole way back from the beginning of the level that you're in. So dying is really, really bad for your time. It takes a ton of time away from you. And on the higher levels, you just can't afford to die if you want to finish in time. So Awareness is kind of like that, that do-over that you get just in case you end up getting one-shotted from something very difficult or high-powered. So I would probably use awareness in higher level greater rifts. But as you guys can see, this does not have preparation punishment in it, which is, has been a very big thing for this build. And the reason is the change to it. Now, preparation punishment no longer costs discipline, but it has a 20-second cooldown. And you only get 75 hatreds. You can only use it that one time. You gotta wait 20 seconds. If you have a lot of cooldown reduction, this, it might be valuable, but with the other skills that I can put in this slot, it just doesn't seem that valuable to me. It doesn't seem like something that I need to use, so I got rid of it for the Spitfire turret and then Vengeance with Seethe. You want something defensive now that you're going to have a ton of discipline just laying around, so Tumble or Smokescreen is very, very valuable. Seethe for the extra hatred regeneration, which is how you're going to help get it, and then why I use Entangling Shot with the Justice is Served rune. Now on to the Natalias that I promised I would talk about here. So Reign of Vengeance is reduced by 2 seconds for every time you kill an enemy or get an assist. So when I get the Natalia's hand crossbow, so I have the 4-set bonus, I'm going to switch out Vengeance for Reign of Vengeance. Vengeance for Reign of Vengeance. So the cooldown is 30 seconds, alright? So that means if you kill 15 enemies, you will completely reset that cooldown. But you have to remember that cooldown will be triggered right after you cast the skill, so you will benefit from the enemies that this kills, as well as the enemies that you're killing. So really, you only have to kill about 10 enemies to completely get this to reset, because of the time that's going to be ticking down anyway. And if you have any kind of cooldown reduction, you're going to basically be able to just spam Reign of Vengeance. Now, as far as runes, I like the Dark Cloud rune. It increases the damage to 3,500% over 8 seconds. And it's guided. It kind of targets out enemies, as opposed to some of the other ones are a little more random. If you want to stick with fire runes to get that additional fire damage, I would definitely not use Anathema, whatever you say that. I don't know how to say that. But it's a little too random for me, with that Shadow Beast only dropping 1 grenade at a time. It's a ton of damage, yes, but I just don't think that it is valuable enough. It's a little too random for me. So if you're going to go with a fire rune, I would use Stampede, because this is summons 10 Shadow Beasts. They smack the ground. They take they take people back. They do a ton of damage over 6 seconds. So that's going to give you that additional fire percentage damage on top of the 4,600 damage it's already doing. So I would put Reign of Vengeance with Stampede in instead of Vengeance, because you're going to be able to use that a lot more often than Vengeance, and it's going to be doing a ton of damage. So that is definitely something that I'm looking forward to using whenever I get the Natalia's crossbow. Alright, so, I guess Paragon points here. Maximum hatred is very important, obviously, because you want to be able to use your cluster arrow as much as possible. You want as much movement speed as you can get. I have 25% here with just this 1%, so attack speed is extremely valuable because of your turrets. The turrets scale off of your attack speed, so the more attack speed you have, the faster they attack and the faster they're able to use your hatred spenders. So that's why I have all of my points in attack speed here, because that 10% is very big for increasing your turret damage. And then I already have over 50% crit chance, so I am trying to increase my critical hit damage. Resist all is obviously very important. It gives you a ton of toughness, and then the life percentage here, because you're already getting a lot of armor from your dexterity, so I'm increasing my life so I can take a little bit more damage. Resource cost reduction is very huge with this build because of how intensive Cluster Arrow is to use, and then I'm going to start focusing on life on hit from there. So yeah, that is my build. You can see I have just over 1 million damage, 8 million toughness, 17,000 healing, and like I said, I'm one hand crossbow away from having an extremely overpowered build here that is going to do insane amounts of damage. So here you can see you want to focus on, obviously, sentry damage increase and cluster arrow whenever you can get those in your skills, and then I have almost 40% fire damage, increasing my DPS effectively to 1.4 million from my cluster arrows. So alright, now I guess I will show you guys some gameplay. Alright, so I came out here to the Fields of Misery just because I've been farming Key Warden, so you know, if he shows up in this video, I'm going to... Oh, and there he is, look at that. Alright, so basically what you want to do is you want to lay down your turrets as much as possible. Use Vengeance whenever you get an elite enemy, and then use your companion skill whenever you can, because that's going to increase your damage by a ton. And you can see how much damage this build is doing already on Torment 4. I've already killed the Key Warden, and a lot of the damage comes from your turrets, which is why your turrets are extremely valuable. In this case, you can see the Spitfire, the homing rockets that it's firing, plus it fires its normal attacks, and every now and then it fires a cluster arrow. So it's doing a ton of damage. And I'm pretty sure that they also scale from your companion there. So you call companion out and it starts doing extra damage. Plus you have the damage from all of your companions, everything they're doing. So I don't even really need to attack here. I can just kind of sit still and let my turret and my companions kill everything. So this is an extremely powerful build. And now if you can imagine being able to cast Rain of Vengeance, you know, basically every time you get to a new mob, just imagine how powerful that's going to be. See, right here you've got, this is about 10 enemies right there. So you cast Rain of Vengeance, you kill all of them, you can instantly cast Rain of Vengeance again because you just killed 10 enemies. Here come more enemies over here. With the mob density that you have, especially in certain rifts, you're going to be able to just spam Rain of Vengeance constantly. And that's a ton of damage. It's a huge damage skill. And with the insane cooldown reduction that's going to be built into it from the Natalia set, it's going to be an insanely good build mixed with the Sentry. So that's why I think Rain of Vengeance is going to be better than your just normal Vengeance, because you don't really, because Rain of Vengeance doesn't cost anything, you don't need a ton of hatred. And you can see I don't even really need to cast Cluster Arrow that much. I kind of save my hatred for whenever I try and burst down elites, because you need the hatred for your sentries, but then your sentries and your companions really do a ton of damage. And then if you mix in Rain of Vengeance with that, and the damage that's doing without costing you any hatred, you almost don't even need to spend your hatred other than with your sentries, because you're going to be able to, like I said, just completely spam Rain of Vengeance over and over, and everything's just dying around me. I don't even have to really do that much work. I can just kind of sit here and dance around and just let everything else die around me. So this is an extremely powerful build. As soon as I get the one extra piece from Natalia's, the hand crossbow, it's going to be even more absolutely insane. And I'm actually very excited for that, because I cannot wait to see what that is going to do to the enemies around me. I'm going to do some greater rifts when I'm able to get that piece, and then see how far into it I can get. Here, pretty good. So we've got 2 different champion packs. So we're going to put down, obviously, our turrets, cast Vengeance, and you got to make sure you're moving around. You can't just stand still. But as I said, the Demon Hunter is very tanky now, because of the additional armor that he has. So you don't have to be as skilled anymore to be a Demon Hunter. And there are 2 champion packs down just like that, just from my skills. And I didn't even have Rain of Vengeance. So, but the Demon Hunter is very tanky now because of the additional armor. So it kind of, it balances out. It makes the Demon Hunter a very, very strong class now. With the Marauder set, which everybody already knows is overpowered as hell, you add an additional armor instead of dodge chance, which, dodge chance was alright, but it did occasionally lead to you just being absolutely wiped out for, in half a second. But now you have this sustain available to you. You got some good toughness. You've got a set that just has a ton of damage built into it. Plus they changed Natalia's to make it more valuable, and now it is extremely valuable because of the assist. Before it was just 1 second that it would reduce the cooldown of Rain of Vengeance, and it only triggered on your kills. Now it's 2 seconds, and it triggers on assist. So playing with a group is the most valuable way to use Rain of Vengeance, because as they kill things, you're going to get the cooldown reduction on it, allowing you to use it more to benefit your team, and then it's just going to completely scale and just snowball from there to the point where you're casting it constantly and just destroying everything around you. I know I've said that a lot, but it's really going to be insane once I get that. I want to stress to you how overpowered this is going to be once I get that. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you really like this build. Obviously, it's a very gear-intensive build, which most builds are, because of end game meta, and if you want to get to the end game and Torment 6 and being able to do all that stuff, you really do need to have extremely good gear. It all needs to be optimized and work together. But yeah, it's an extremely gear-intensive build, but it is for a reason, because it's hard to get all of the pieces that are needed for it, especially if you want to use what I've been saying and pair in the Natalia set. So it's going to be hard to get, but once you get it, you're going to be extremely hard to kill, and you're going to be able to do more damage than just about any other class besides maybe Witch Doctors, because everyone knows that Witch Doctors are just entirely overpowered right now. But that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Try this build out if you have the gear to do so. Let me know what you think about it. Even if you don't have the gear, let me know what you think. Just leave a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I want to know what you think about this. And if you haven't already, please click subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of my future PTR videos. As they start adding more things like seasons and legendary gems, I'm going to be making some videos on those and letting you guys know, how all those things work. So please click the subscribe button, that way you can see those when they first come out, and please click the like button down below for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great day, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode.